Chiefs Kingdom is sleeping on this second-year pass rusher who did have a disappointing rookie year, but is looking to prove all the haters wrong. Today we will discuss what kind of impact Felix Uzomah can have going into next season. And you guys already know, we are going to cover all the craziness surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs training camp. So with that, let's get the chit-chat and let's have some fun. The Kansas City Chiefs just wrapped up day 8 of their training camp, and we got a lot to go over because there's exciting things taking place. But first, let's discuss the injury report because we got some good and we got some not so good. Do we? No, we really don't, but let's start with that and let's check that off our list. Chris Jones did appear on the injury report with a groin injury, and when you see a big star like that on the injury report, it causes some pause. It causes some alarms to go off on our head. But Coach Reed says there's nothing to be concerned here. It's just precautionary, and they're just playing it safe. He will be ready to go. He will be fine. We could potentially even see him tomorrow. So Chiefs Kingdom, put it on pause. Chris Jones will be perfectly fine. Now, going into the good news. The Kansas City Chiefs today were excited to bring back left guard Joe Thuney as he was activated off the PUP list. This is huge for the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Now, I don't think there was any ever question that he would not be ready for week 1, but you know how the PUP goes, and you don't really know until you see the player back. Well, we see Joe Thuney back, and he is a huge boost to that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, specifically that left side when we got a left tackle battle going on between Wanye Morris and Kingsley Samatea, which let's zone in on that because Kingsley Samatea has been winning that job, it seems like, to start off, where he's been getting majority of the reps with the ones. Now, I'm not going to bite into all of that solely yet and saying he's hands off the Kansas City Chiefs left tackle right now. I want to see what happens in preseason in the live game action. That's where this left tackle position is going to be won. But both of these boys, Morris and Samatea, you best believe they're excited to have Thuney back because Thuney is going to make any left tackle better, and definitely a young one. He will provide help and experience. So this is going to be fun to see how it all unravels. And then also, on the minor side, we did miss Hollywood Brown and Clyde Edwards-Helaire today with illness. I don't expect that to be anything too serious, and we should see them boys back in the fold sooner rather than later. Now let's zone in on one certain pass rusher that Chiefs Kingdom is already labeling as a bust after a rookie year. Yes, it was a disappointing rookie year, but nonetheless, we can't label players a bust after 1 year. And what we've seen Felix Uzomah do in the offseason and now in training camp, he has shown improvements, and we've heard in the offseason that he has been working with them boys, in specific George Karlaftis, and George Karlaftis has been mentored by Tom Bahali, who Felix Uzomah joined in this offseason, and you've seen it in training camp where he's got a new arsenal, and he's got a new swim move under his belt, and he's been testing it out on the O-lineman, and he's been looking fast. He's been looking impressive, and I definitely expect him to be much more productive than he was in his rookie year. For one, he's going to see the field more. I think that's indefinite. Like, he's going to be on that football field because you have to remember, Charles Omenihu is still recovering from a torn ACL, and he can be ready by week 1, but I don't anticipate that. So that means you got guys like Felix Uzomah, Mike Dana, and George Karlaftis. And I believe you're going to see Mike Dana and Felix Uzomah do a rotational role, which that means Uzomah is going to be on that football field sooner rather than later. And even when he was on the football field last year, even though it didn't result in a lot of production, you see there was a lot of raw talent there. There was potential. And if he was able to elevate his craft in the offseason, there's a good chance he's going to be very productive with the Kansas City Chiefs. The thing I'm excited to see for and eager as well is if he hits that stride soon, like in week 1, let's say he tallies the sack. And then week 2, he gets pressures, and then you just start stacking and stacking games. Kind of like how we saw with George Karlaftis, where his rookie year, he was getting back there, but he could never get the sack. And then late in that year, he just started tallying those sacks. All it takes is one. And if Felix Uzomah can do that quickly, the Chiefs are going to be lethal on that defensive line before Charles Omenihu comes back, and that's huge. You can never have too many pass rushers. So when you got George Karlaftis, you got Charles Omenihu coming back, and then you got Mike Dana, and then you got Felix Uzomah, that is unreal. And we didn't even talk about Stone Cold Chris Jones, who's going to clog the center of that defensive line. I don't expect drastic, huge changes from Felix Uzomah in going into next year. But what I can anticipate is a guy who can produce maybe 4 to 6 sacks and then be a great rotational pass rusher. And that would be very beneficial for this defense to where you don't just have to depend on Chris Jones or depend on George Karlaftis. You literally could pick your poison, and that's what Spags loves to do is he will send one guy and go after him, or he will send them all. I'm very excited to see what this Chiefs D-line is going to do in 2024 because, as I mentioned, if the Chiefs D-line is solid and takes another level, we don't got to worry about the secondary. And not that there was ever cause for concern, but when you lose a guy like L'Jarius Sneed, it's like, okay, are we going to lose a step? Well, that D-line is going to benefit a lot from that secondary and vice versa. And it's definitely something to keep our eyes zoned in on. And let's stay in that secondary because Bryan Cook, man, he has been impressing. He has literally been cooking all over the field. I was really concerned that he may have lost a step off of his ankle injury, or it may have took him some time to get back to his football playing speed. But this dude is diving all over the field and making plays and looking better than ever. It's honestly what we anticipated to see him last year, and I think we were literally getting that glimpse, and then he got hurt. Well, year 3, he is ready to take those training wheels off and go full steam ahead. And I have no shame in saying he may be the Kansas City Chiefs' best safety. I have huge expectations for Bryan Cook. If he's healthy, he is a playmaker. Remember him coming out of Cincinnati, one thing was highlighted is this dude is a thumper. And he knows how to lay the wood. But it seems like in this offseason, he has perfected his craft and, hey, get after a football and make a play. It seems like no matter what weapon Mahomes has been eyeing, whether it be Hollywood Brown, whether it be Worthy, whether it be Rashee Rice, whether it be McCole Hardman, Bryan Cook has found a way to be near that football and make a play-deflecting play to where it's not a big completion. And that is huge for the Kansas City Chiefs secondary going into next year because one thing the Kansas City Chiefs secondary struggled last year was they couldn't get turnovers. And they need to find guys to become a ball hawk and intercept it and get another possession for the offense. We love guys like Trent McDuffie, Justin Reed, Bryan Cook. The list goes on. But they don't tally interceptions. If Steve Spagnuolo's defense can somehow, some way get the ball and get turnovers, this defense is better than last year, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We zone in on this offense so much, and rightfully so. But this defense was the main reason the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year, and we shouldn't be discrediting them whatsoever because they could have just got better. With that, Chiefs Kingdom, I'm going to close this video out. You let me know some of your news and thoughts leaving this Monday's training camp and going into a new week. With that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Y'all know I'm trying to hit a lofty goal of 2,000 subscribers before week 1's game against the Baltimore Ravens, and we can go crazy on a live stream. So please do subscribe to the channel. And if you did like this video, please hit that big thumbs up. And I do appreciate all the support. You guys do mean a lot to the channel. With that, I'm checking out. Till next time, peace.